I don't know the pain that I'm going to have to incur and the price that I'm going to have to pay to because of this, yes. But I trust you, God. I trust you that no matter what happens, you're walking with me. No matter what happens, you're going to give me joy unspeakable and full of glory. No matter what happens, even in the darkest of night, there's going to be a peace that passes understanding. Even when I'm frustrated by external circumstances, that yes is going to give me the passion to continue moving forward. When I'm feeling frustrated in my flesh, the passion is going to cause my spirit to say, we got this. We can walk one more day. We can march one more day. We can take this mountain, even though it doesn't make sense on paper, even though it's frustrating in the natural, the spiritual. There's a certainty that I'm going to be able to do this. And so I feel like a lot of the passion that the Lord has allowed us to have over these 30 years of working overseas, and now in this international evangelism, which really isn't something new. It's just something we're doing intentionally focused as the only thing, we're doing right now. It's the zeroed in moment. And, but in all of that, there's been this organic passion because we have been on an intentional purpose. We said yes without knowing the end from the beginning.
Yeah. Can I just kind of butt in here a little bit? And an observation that I see from you. And I want to clarify the passion that I see within you. I was first introduced to you by way of a pulpit, you in a pulpit.
Sure.
And you have a lot of energy.
Yes, sir.
But energy is not passion.
Wow.
Now, energy can come from passion.
That's revelation.
But as I have gotten to know you more and more, this is not just energy. This is true passion. And and you mentioned it comes from purpose. It comes from kingdom purpose.
Sure.
But what I have noticed just in our private conversations and text messaging and various things over the course of the last few years, you're very intentional about vision. You have vision, but you also know what your gifts are. Like you're really clued into your gifts, and you operate in your gifts, and you know your calling.
Yes, sir.
And those are three things that a lot of people struggle with. They're tripped up there. But would you agree that there's a sweet spot there between your vision, your calling, and your giftings that creates that kingdom purpose through prayer, obviously, but because you're zeroed in through prayer with those three things, like there's no stopping you. You could cross any hurdle that comes your way because those three things have aligned.
Yes, sir.
And you found your kingdom purpose in what you're doing.
Yes, sir. But I would say that those three things require a great amount of intentional action. We talked about this. We kind of got lost in conversation before hitting record, but
I wish we would have recorded some of that.
Yes. Well, and this is the reality, kingdom purpose in your life is not self-fulfilling. This is a fact. Now, it comes from the throne room of heaven. God speaks to you and says, this is the purpose I want you to walk in. I've got a vision for you, a plan for you, but it's not self-fulfilling. You can disrupt kingdom purpose in your life by pivoting away and not being intentional about your actions. You can be watching from afar off as somebody else gets the goods because you made a pivot away from vision and purpose that God never intended. And so you have got to be completely zeroed in, intentional. When God speaks to you and gives you purpose, Brother Franklin, and says to you, this is where we're going. And you don't get that picture of the whole middle. The middle is the scary part. But God says, I'm taking you here. and you have to either say yes or no. But when you say yes, and God gives you that overarching vision, now you got to do something about it. You got to be intentional about that vision. And, one of the things that have helped me stay intentional about vision and purpose is something I first learned in the military. In the military, they had action boards, and it was very simplified, from what I learned later in life. But it was just, in every unit room, there was the action board, and it had the mission, and it had who was going to do that mission and when we were going to do that mission, and some kind of, kill them all, let God sort them out type of mission, type of statement at the bottom of it just to motivate you, that was actually a patch we had. It said, kill them all, let God sort them out. A terrible thing. I'm not advocating that. After the military, I get out of the military. I feel the great call of God directing me into kingdom purpose and kingdom work. And I meet this guy named David Lord, who Brother Nix had hired in Ypsilanti, Michigan, to help him align the church to accomplish the kingdom purpose of the Lord. And so this guy was working with Fortune 500 companies, helping them draft their mission, their purpose, their goals to be more actionable, to be more intentional. And so he came into my office. I'm a youth pastor. After the military. And David Lord comes in my office and he goes, okay, what is God telling you to do? And he sits down with me and teaches me the value of being intentional about storyboards. And he teaches me this process and gets these massive 3-foot by 3-foot boards, puts rails around my office, puts wheels on these boards, slaps them up all around. And what has God told you to do? And he teaches me this method of storyboarding and the partnership of 5W2H, what, when, where, why, who, how much, and teaches me to define the mission and teaches me to make the mission actionable, how to stay on purpose daily. You got to look at this board every day and make sure that your day is being actionable for the purpose that God gave you. So you are passionate. Your passion flows out of actionable purpose. And so, when I went to the German speaking nations, I carried that instruction, that kingdom instruction. I believe it was kingdom instruction with me to the German speaking nations. And so when God spoke to me and said, okay, we're going to start churches and we're going to train ministers, and God put in my spirit to equip and to advance the gospel through training so we started storyboarding. Anybody who had ever been to my office in the German speaking nations, I had these bars around my office and these 3x3 boards, and every mission that God said we had to accomplish was broke down with 5W2H, and we had the team in place actionably addressing this mission, vision, purpose on a daily basis, so we did not become disillusioned, frustrated, distracted, overwhelmed, and we weren't given to these highs and lows emotionally, because we were walking intentionally in purpose.
Wow.